Hi all, I am Priya Jose, Assistant Professor in Physics, Jyoti Engineering College, Cheruduruthi. Today we will discuss about the basic properties and principles of laser. Laser is the light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. That is, laser is a powerful device which is produced by the process of stimulated emission of radiation. Laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. It's a powerful device to produce highly intense, monochromatic, coherent, collimated and unidirectional bright light. This light is produced by the process of stimulated emission of radiation. The stimulated emission of radiation was first predicted by Albert Einstein in 1917. The first device based on the stimulated emission was fabricated in 1954. It was a maser, that is, microwave amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. That is, here microwaves are amplified by the process of stimulated emission of radiation. This maser is considered as an old form of laser. Actual laser was fabricated in 1960 by T.H. Maiman. The first laser was a ruby laser. Next, properties of laser beam. First property, monochromatic. Monochromatic means single color or single wavelength. That means laser source emits only one color or one wavelength, but ordinary light emits almost all colors. Next property, high directionality. Directionality means the laser emits light in one direction, but an ordinary source of light emits light waves in all possible directions as shown in this figure. But laser is unidirectional beam. Angular spread of the laser beam is negligibly small. Next property, coherence. Coherence means the light waves from a laser source are in the same phase, or all the light waves maintain a constant phase difference between them. Laser beam is both temporally and spatially coherent. Spatial coherence means the phase correlation between the light wave exists at different locations. That is, if this is a laser beam, then all the light waves maintain a constant phase difference at different positions. Then temporal coherence means the light waves from a laser source maintain the phase correlation at different times. A laser light has high temporal and spatial coherence. Next property, intensity or brightness. The intensity of a laser light is tremendously high. So, the direct incidence of laser light is harmful to eyes. Next property, focusing and collimating property. That means laser light can be focused to a single point, or the laser light propagates as collimated beam or in the form of parallel rays. These are the outstanding characteristics of a laser. Next, we will discuss about the basic principles of laser. In every laser, there are three basic principles. The first basic principle is induced or stimulated absorption. That is, in every material, initially an atom is in the lower energy state, that is at this position. In this figure, this is lower energy state and this is higher energy state. In almost all materials, initially the atom is here, that is in the lower energy state E1. Then a photon of energy h nu, that is equal to E2 minus E1, that is the energy difference between these two states, interacts with this ground state atom. Now this photon, this atom absorbs the photon and moves to the higher energy state. This transition is called stimulated absorption. That is after transition the atom is in the higher energy state. This transition is schematically represented as A plus h nu gives A star. Here A is an atom in the lower energy state. Here h nu represents the photon. Then after transition the atom is in higher energy state, that is A, that represents A star. Then the transition rate. Einstein postulated that the induced absorption transition rate, that is the rate at which the transition takes place, is proportional to the number of atoms N1 in the lower energy state. And this transition rate dN1 by dt is also proportional to rho, where rho is the density of incident photon. That is, if the density of incident photon rho is small, then the transition rate dN1 by dt is more. Also, if the number of atoms per unit volume in the lower energy state N1 is small, then the transition rate is also more. Then we replace this proportionality sign with equal sign, then multiply this by a constant B1. Here the constant B1 is called Einstein coefficient for induced absorption. Next transition in laser is spontaneous emission. Spontaneous emission means now the atom is in the higher energy state. That is, after the first transition, the atom is in the higher energy state E2. But this state is highly unstable. So the atom returns to the lower energy state E1 spontaneously. Spontaneously means without any external agency. During this transition from E2 to E1, this atom emits the excess energy in the form of a photon. And the energy of this emitted photon h nu is equal to E2 minus E1. That is the energy difference between higher energy state and lower energy state. Schematically, this transition may be represented as A star gives A plus h nu. Here, A star is an atom in the higher energy state, that is a state before the transition. That gives after transition, the atom is in the lower energy state, that is A, plus it emits a photon of energy h nu. This transition is called spontaneous emission. Then the Einstein postulated the spontaneous emission transition rate is proportional to the number of atoms in the excited state N2. That is, dN2 by dt is equal to A2 N2, where A2 is Einstein coefficient for spontaneous emission. This is the second transition in every laser. During this transition, we got a photon. The third transition and the laser emitting transition is stimulated emission. Stimulated emission means initially the atom is in the higher energy state. Now a photon of energy h nu is incident on the higher energy electron or atom. Then because of the stimulation of this incident photon, the higher energy atom make a downward transition. Then during this transition, it emits two photons. Two photons means the first one is the incident photon and second photon corresponds to the energy difference between E2 and E1. That is, we got two photons. That is, here photon is multiplied or light is amplified. Then schematically it may be represented as A star plus h nu gives A plus 2h nu, where this is the state before transition. Before transition, here A star means the atom is the higher energy state, plus h nu means a photon is incident. That gives, this is the state after transition. The atom is in the lower energy state, plus it emits 2h nu. 2h nu means 2 photons. Then the transition rate. Einstein postulated that the stimulated emission transition rate is proportional to two factors. First one, it is dN2 by dt is proportional to N2, that is the number of atoms per unit volume in the higher energy state. The transition rate dN2 by dt is also proportional to rho, that is the density of this incident photon. Then dN2 by dt is equal to B2 rho N2, where B2 is Einstein's coefficient for stimulated emission. During the stimulated emission, the laser light or amplified light is produced. This light is laser. That is, laser light is produced during stimulated emission. But we need these three transitions for emitting a laser light. These three, that is stimulated absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission, are the basic principles of the working of a laser. Then in stimulated emission, there is photon multiplication or light amplification. That means here in this figure, this is an atom in the higher energy state, then a photon of energy h nu, and here this photon is produced by spontaneous emission. This spontaneous photon interacts with this higher energy atom. Then this atom make a downward transition, that is from this state to the lower energy state. Then it emits 2 photons here. Then these 2 photons interacts with the other 2 higher energy atoms. Then these 2 atoms make downward transition here. Then it emits 4 photons. Then these 4 photons interact with the other 4 higher energy electrons or atoms. Then they make downward transition, then emit 8 photons. Then these 8 photons interact with the other 8 atoms and emit 60. And this number increases. And this process continues like a chain reaction. Then that means during this process, the quantity of these photons are increased tremendously. So finally, highly intense, coherent, monochromatic laser light is obtained. So the laser light is an amplified light or photon multiplied light. The next topic, relations connecting the Einstein coefficients. That is, in a laser, there are 3 transitions. First one is stimulated absorption, this process. Here these are the 2 energy levels E1 and E2 with the number of atoms per unit volume N1 and N2. First process, absorption, a photon is incident, then the atom make an upward transition, now here. Then second process, a photon is produced by spontaneous emission. The third process, amplified light is produced by stimulated emission or induced emission. Then the transition rates for these transitions are given by these 3 equations. Here A2 represents the Einstein coefficient for spontaneous emission, B1 represents the Einstein coefficient for induced absorption, B2 represents the Einstein coefficient for stimulated emission. Next we look at the relations connecting these Einstein coefficients. The first relation is that B1 is equal to B2. That means the Einstein coefficient for stimulated absorption, that is this process, is same as that for the stimulated emission. This is the first relation. Einstein coefficient for stimulated absorption is B1 is equal to the Einstein coefficient for induced or stimulated emission. The second relation connecting Einstein coefficient is that A2 by B2. A2 by B2 means the Einstein coefficient for spontaneous emission to the Einstein coefficient for induced emission. This is equal to 8 pi h mu cube by c cube, where h is Planck's constant, mu frequency of emitted photons, c velocity of light in free space. These two are the relations connecting Einstein coefficients. Thank you.